In this video, I'm going to give you some real examples for the layperson, whether you are a beginner or you are advanced. This is going to open your awareness of numerology and astrology and how to use these systems. I'm going to explain in this video using specific examples of how numerology, particularly Chaldean numerology, which you can see on the screen, which we're going to get into, is a codex for reading astrology, where astrology is using numerology relative to understanding a circle 360 degrees grouped into 12 houses, further grouped into 27 stars within these 12 houses, which each have their own 4 padas, and so on and so forth. It's all just divisions of 360 degrees. Chaldean numerology, as the codex means, remember back in the day when they would write these secret letters, and it would look like one thing, but then it would come with a codex for the person meant to read it, which would give them the secret of how to decode this. So it says something like, the man went to the store, he bought some eggs, but if you take the first sentence of the first letter of every sentence, that will create a message. Or they'll use a Rosetta Stone to understand hieroglyphics. The codex is the actual key to reading what it is, the object here, which is astrology. So what I'm saying is, which is a theme I've been repeating in my videos, numerology is fundamental. Astrology is using numerology. Astrology is a personification of numerology. So let's get into the example here. In the past video, I've talked about third house, Gemini, and number 3. We're going to be zooming in on Libra and a little bit of Libra and especially Scorpio. 8th house and Saturn, or 8. So at first glance, you see Scorpio. Scorpio is what? Sudden transformations, ups and downs. It's not very stable. But the number 8, on the surface anyways, is a number in numerology that appears to be stable. It's stabilizing number 7. But in fact, 8 is very much connected to Scorpio, which I'm going to explain. First, let's look at Scorpio. What is Scorpio? It is represented by a scorpion. And what is a scorpion? When you think of a scorpion, what you think of their tail. This big prominent tail with this big fat stinger on the end of it. And what is this representing? The root chakra. The Scorpio is the scorpion becoming an eagle. It is the root chakra, the raw power, ascending to become the eagle who's now free, who's in the space above, high up, indicating it has moved from the root level to the heaven. How is this connected to number 8? Look at the number 8. Here we have the formal way of writing number 8, which is 08. Now, 08 creates a number diamond. It's called in Chaldean numerology a number diamond. The outer aura is the 8. The inner aura is a 16-7. The essence, which is 8 plus 7, is 15-6. Look at the 16-7. This number is the secret, because this is the path of maturation for number 8, which is the same as Scorpio. Number 16 is depicted in the tarot, which the tarot is archetypal representative, which are codes, a symbol. What is a symbol? It's like a zip file. It has many, many meanings. A picture is worth 1,000 words. The Shattered Citadel. This is the name of 16, the Shattered Citadel. The scene is this tall, straight citadel or tower being struck by lightning. As a result, you have this man who was in the top tower is falling headfirst with this crown falling off their head. Now, how is this connected to 16 and the number 8? 16. The ground the citadel is built upon is the 6. So 16, the boss in this number is 6. The 1 has to bow to 6 to create the positive version of 7. If the 1 tries to assert itself and ignore the 6, if Shakti does not serve Shiva, Shiva is always the inner digit, Shakti is always the outer digit, it's going to create the negative effect of 7, which is the lightning strike. The lightning strike of truth is striking the 1, which is the ego, the false ego, raising it to the ground. The person falling with this crown, they're falling head first because their ego is being humbled. The crown falling off their head is the self-appointed, I'm a king, but I'm not really. When the truth comes in, it raises it all to the ground. And why? Because 6 is unity. 6 does not like individuals. Individuals are one. Why? Because 6's focus is to unite individuals, to create a community, a common unity. So this is the path of maturation for 8. And 7, we mentioned, is the root chakra. So in the pure number sequence of 1 through 9, outside of astrology, because remember, astrology is relative to a 12 cycle, or 360 degrees, relative to a circle, or numerology is the pure. What do I mean pure? 1 through 9. Why is 1 through 9 the pure? Because anything after 1 through 9 will always reduce back to 1 through 9. 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. 12, 1 plus 2 is 3. No matter what number it is, no matter how big that number is, it will always come back to 1 through 9. So 1 through 9 is the fundamental cycle, put it that way. Now, the role of 8 is to pick up where the 7 left off. Where does the 7 leave off? God created the world, and on the 7th day they rested. Why? God comes in, descends from the 1, unity, and the 7, we mentioned, is the root chakra. This is where the energy hits the bottom and is redirected back up. That's why the 7th house Libra is what? Scales. So the God rested here is when the energy pauses to balance itself out. And once the balance happens, now the Kundalini is free to start its ascent back up. This is where 8 comes in. 7 is understanding. It is literally standing underneath and seeing the world from a singularity for what it actually is. Oh my God, the world's an illusion. I played the game of asserting myself, of expressing myself, of having a home, having a family. And now I'm looking at it, it's all an illusion. The illusion is I am God, I am everything. And so 7 gains the understanding, but understanding without application is lame. Understanding has to be applied to gain power, and that is the culmination of Scorpio, and it is a culmination of 8. So 8 picks up where 7 left off, and it has to integrate layer by layer, every layer of the conscious, from the unconscious to the subconscious to the conscious mind, through the root chakra, sacral chakra, soar. But 8 will not allow you to move forward until each layer is fully saturated and permeated with truth. And only then will it allow you to go to the next layer. And then if you're in a layer and you're trying to move forward, there's obstacles, setbacks, just because you haven't mastered it. 8 will give you all kinds of tests until it is fully integrated. In order to integrate something, you have to be tested. It's one thing to know, it's another thing to apply that knowledge. So that's why 8 blooms later in life. So 8 will fill out everything. And why is it? Because 8 creates things that stands the test of time. 8's a number of immortality, the infinity shape, isn't it? 8 creates things that are so bulletproof that they will last forever, that they become indestructible. It does this by making sure there are no holes in its game. There's no shadows. It's not trying to skip ahead. Piece by piece, brick by brick, it builds the pyramids, which have lasted for thousands of years. Some would say millions. And to this day are still standing. And even then, we can't even build them like that in the modern technology. Profound. So what happens is, to circle this back around to why Scorpio is sudden ups and downs and transformation, which 8 appears to be the stability. In fact, the stability is the effect of transformation, sudden ups and downs. Having this 16-7 activate. When you try to, the ego, the false ego tries to assert itself, inside the 8, 16-7 activates, crushed down, sudden ups and downs. And it's what it is if you can imagine a wave, like a circle. It's shaking violently until eventually it settles into a nice coherence. This is the process of what 8 is doing. It's taking this raw energy and stabilizing it into coherence, which results in power. In the sequence of 1 through 9, 8 is the climax. It is the ultimate number. Where 9 is the end of the cycle, but you'll notice that 9 is missing the bottom part of the 8. It is a compartmentalization that has taken place. 9 is actually a precursor to 1. That's a separate video. But take it for granted, 8 is the culmination. It is the culmination, which culminates in power, immortality. That's why you still look at the yogis and the siddhas. These guys are typically taking their samadhis or getting their enlightenment, and there's somehow the number 8 is involved. They did it on the 8th day or the 8th month of the year or an 8th universal year. The number 8 is always going to somehow involved in that, typically. This is why. This is why Krishna, the 8th avatar of Vishnu, the 8th avatar of God, is considered the Purna avatar, the full incarnation of God on the earth plane. They had all the powers, all the wisdom, all the intelligence. They could do all the miracles. Where Rama before them, the number 7, the 7th avatar, he had the understanding. He knew how to walk his path. That's why they call Rama the perfect man, a man. But he didn't have the powers yet. And in fact, if you watch and look at the Adbhuta Ramayana, which is a sacred text, an extension of the original story, when after Rama defeats Ravana, he goes and tries to challenge Ravana's older brother. And he didn't have the power to defeat him. His wife, Sita, had to transform into Kali to defeat the demon on behalf of Rama. And what is Kali? 8. The 8th moon. Kali is the number 8. 8 is power. So Rama couldn't beat them because he's 7. That's why in order for 7 to gain power, in order for understanding to gain power, it needs 8. Krishna represented the culmination of this. And so this is how you understand astrology. You can take this and run with it. I touched on Libra, the scales. Scorpio, the sudden ups and downs. The scorpion, picking up where the 7 left off in the root chakra until it becomes an eagle, flying in the sky, which signifies up, the heaven. It is ascended, the Kundalini is ascended up, resulting in power. I am God incarnate. I am the full expression of God incarnated. That's it. So first house, second house, they're all relative to numbers. So all that to say what I'm about to say next. Whether you are an astrologer wanting to understand astrology better, or you're just starting out in this process of studying these divination systems, whether it's tarot, whether it's astrology, it all comes back to numerology. Tarot is numerology. I just explained 16, they're all like this. All the different numbers that are representative, the number of the card in tarot has a direct correlation to the numerology. Numerology is the codex, the master key that unlocks all the systems. If you're an astrologer and you study Chaldean numerology, specifically the 9-diamond analysis of how to take a number like the number 8 and understand the 9 different diamonds and how to interpret that, looking at the numeroscopes, understand the core component of fractal of 3, which is the year, month, the day, inner digit, outer digit, digit sum. And like this, the fractal of 3 is all throughout both numerology and in astrology. If you understand this, you're going to look at astrology in a whole new way. It's all the doors are going to open. Everything's going to start making sense. Why is it dharma? Why is it moksha? Why is it artha? Why is it kama? Why is the first house and the 7th house? Look at the first and 7th house axis. What is it? The first house, Aries, the head, is looking down at 7th house. Why is 7th house relationships? Because it's the one looking at its reflection. Relationships, or the outside world, is a reflection of the one. If you look at astrology, 1 and 7 are opposites, and they're enemy signs. Saturn's exalted in the first house. Saturn, the son of sun, the S-O-N of the S-U-N, is exalted in opposite, the 8th house, or 7th house. Sun is light, Saturn is darkness. That's all. The whole astrological system is numerology. And that's why 1 and 7. Number 17 is the ultimate awareness. 17 is the awareness of singularity, both from looking at the existence from the top down and looking at the point of singularity from the bottom up, resulting in 1 plus 7 is 8, power. 17 is the number of highest awareness. And like this, there are other secrets to the compound numbers, 28, 19, all of them. You have to understand numerology first. And if you understand numerology first, the sky is the limit for astrology and for the rest of the divination systems. If you're interested in using what I call numeroastrology, which is my own system that I have coined, which is a fusion of Chaldean numerology and a little bit of Akara numerology, as well as Vedic astrology, some Vietnamese astrology, and soon to be including also human design. If you want to have your life decoded with numeroastrology, deep dive into your shadow potential, what to be aware of, the subconscious programs that are going on behind the scenes. If you want to see your success codes, how you're supposed to operate in this world, how you're supposed to express yourself, what kind of mindset should you hold, what direction in life should you go, what kind of careers should you focus on, what kind of desires are inside of you. If you want to see your perfect timing, when and what you should be doing during specific times, like right now, what are the different cycles going on? You should consult both numerology and astrology to see these things. They both paint a complete picture. Check out my links underneath this video for my site, aumra.com, where you can find readings, and check out my free learning hub, substack.com/@aumra, AAUMMRA, where you can find blogs, podcasts, case studies, articles, notes. All of my free content is all being posted there, and it's all for free. There is a paid subscription where you can get numerological time updates and like this, some more content for subscribers only. It's very, very cheap to subscribe. It's only $8. Okay, with that, I'll end the video. If you have any questions, comments, leave them under this video. As always, wishing the best. Happy manifesting. God bless. Om.